Good morning. Mackenzie Johnston with Tri-State Livestock News, bringing you your Friday morning headlines concerning fair cattle markets. Sponsored by Sandhills State Bank, the most committed brand in banking, and Sandhills Beef Company, American producers feeding Americans because monopolies won't get us anywhere. To learn a little bit more about Sandhills Beef Company and what they have to offer, head on over to their website, sandhillsbeefco.com. And finally, RCAF USA, fighting for independent American cattle producers. Please support the National Rollover Auction fundraiser this week for the Checkoff Referendum campaign. To learn more about that, head on over to checkoffvote.com. Tri-State Livestock News has reported that the owners of a Sandhills grazing operation are being sued for alleged animal neglect. Three Forks Ranch, which operates a lodge and working cattle ranch on the Wyoming-Colorado border, approximately 40 miles north of Steamboat Springs, has sued Derek and Lisa Schwanebeck of Ellsworth, Nebraska, and their only employee, John C. Odom. Schwanebecks operate an unincorporated grazing business called Cornerstone Grazing. According to the complaint filed on October 30th in the U.S. District Court for the District of Nebraska, the plaintiffs are alleging neglect and starvation of cattle placed in the care of Schwanebecks, which resulted in more than $500,000 in damages. On April 1st, Three Forks Ranch entered into a contract grazing agreement with Derek and Lisa Schwanebeck. The Schwanebecks took 603 head of bred cows and 22 bulls owned by Three Forks for the 2020 summer grazing season, approximately April 1st through November 12th. Three Forks agreed to pay $49.50 per head for a total of $29,062.50 per month. After the summer season, Three Forks planned to sell the bred cows to a third-party cow-calf operation for $1,500 per head. According to the contract, Schwanebeck's employee, John Odom, was responsible for day-to-day care of the cattle, and Schwanebecks would doctor any sick cows and be responsible for any injury or death. Schwanebecks also agreed to provide monthly reports on the cattle's condition and report any death loss. The cattle were in excellent condition when they arrived at Ellsworth, Nebraska, and when calving came around, cows and calves appeared to be vibrant and healthy. Throughout the summer, Schwanebecks assured Three Forks that their cattle were doing well. When September rolled around, Derek Schwanebeck contacted Three Forks and claimed that there was a disease outbreak in the herd after he found several dead calves. In response to this, 5 Three Forks employees traveled to the Sandhills to assess the situation. Upon arrival, they doctored 46 head of calves with antibiotics and observed more than 20 dead calves. According to the lawsuit, Derek Schwanebeck's claim of a disease outbreak was false, and instead, cattle were extremely malnourished. Three Forks contacted a local veterinarian to inspect the herd on September 5th. The lawsuit states that the vet found the cows with a body composition score of 4, and they also showed signs of starvation and inadequate nutrition. 87 calves, 15% of the calf crop, and 12 cows died because of Schwanebeck's negligence. While Three Forks' cattle were starving, Schwanebeck's had lush pastures that they could have rotated the cattle into. You could literally see these pastures full of grass from where the cattle that were starving were standing. But they chose not to do so because they intended to sell the grass from those pastures in order to further profit from the operation. Talk about being a little bit greedy. According to the lawsuit, Derek Schwanebeck refused to accept any responsibility. It also states that the mistreatment of these animals was more than just negligence. It was cruel, and I agree. The Schwanebecks refused to feed living, breathing creatures that suffered and slowly starved due to the defendants' carelessness. As you all know, all of us in the cattle industry, we put our animals first. They eat before us. They are the same as family members. And it is incredibly disappointing to see such negligence by Schwanebecks. A few bad apples within our industry is what makes the public question how we raise our animals, what we're doing within our industry. And again, it is really too bad to see folks such as Schwanenbeck's letting animals starve and die. To read more about this story, click on the link above in the caption. Spike Jordan from Western Nebraska, he covered this story and he did a phenomenal job, to say the least. So be sure to click that link to get the whole story. National Beef Wire has reported that an Iowa cattle feedlot has been penalized for Clean Water Act violations. Riverview cattle operated by Tony and Joshua Brown of Armstrong, Iowa, have been fined $76,000 for violating the Federal Clean Water Act. Riverview cattle repeatedly discharged stormwater that contained pollutants through an underground pipe that drained into the East Fork of the Des Moines River without having a permit. The brothers claim that the pollutants never reached the river. However, Administrative Judge Christine Coughlin ruled in favor of the EPA and found the feedlot liable for Clean Water Act violations. And a little bit about beef exports, specifically beef sales. Brownfield Ag News has reported that during the week ending December 3rd, beef sales totaled 3,000 tons, down 78% from the week before and down 80% from the prior 4-week average. Talk about disappointing numbers. National Beef Wire finally reported yesterday that choice box beef ended the day at $214.59. That was down $3.67. And select box beef ended the day at $198.47, and that was down $3.18. That is all I have for you guys for news this morning. In case you missed it, yesterday we published our interview with Karina Jones of Custer County, Nebraska. She ranches there with her family. She is knowledgeable, to say the least, when it comes to all the issues facing our industry. She feels that the beef checkoff referendum should be the right of every producer that pays into the program. She is concerned about the Biden's administration when it comes to fossil fuels. Producers can't afford increased costs when it comes to fuel prices, with margins being thin to non-existent as it is. She's also concerned with the administration's agenda when it comes to sustainability. She feels that this is a property rights issue, and she worries that down the road that producers might not have the ability to operate without government control. She closed by saying that as producers, we need to go after those big asks. We need to swing for the fences. We need to tackle those big issues in order to try to solve some of these issues and achieve fair cattle markets. If you missed that interview, head on over to our website, fair-cattle-markets.com, or you can check it out on our Facebook page, Tri-State Livestock News. That is all I have for you guys this morning. I hope everyone had a great week. Have yourself a wonderful weekend. Be sure to stay warm. We are supposed to get some snow and cold here. Again, have yourself a wonderful weekend, and I will see everyone on Monday morning.